Hello everyone, I'm MVL and today we're going to take a look at Alien Isolation, the collection on the Switch. This version should include all the extra content on the cartridge without downloading any. We're going to open that up and we're going to take a look at the gameplay footage and compare that with other versions of this game. So, without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to open up Alien Isolation on the Switch, and then we're going to take a look at gameplay footage of this version and other versions of the game as well to compare that. First, I think it's noteworthy to mention that the Switch physical version is the only version to include all previous downloadable content on the cartridge with no download required. It also didn't require an update to start at the time of this video. I got this from Limited Run Games, which was the only way to get a Switch physical version of this game. Otherwise, you would be looking at getting a digital version instead. Limited Run Games also did a couple of different versions of this game, including some fancy extras, but I elected to just get the game. Inside this, we have a manual and of course the game cartridge. I really love getting manuals in my games. It's unfortunately a trend that is on the downswing. The manual has the controls and it also has some information about the characters and things like that. It's something I really like to have that unfortunately a lot of modern releases don't seem to include anymore. We also have the game cartridge of course, and with that said, we're going to take a look at some gameplay footage now of various versions of this game and compare them to the Switch version. So before we dive deeper into the Switch version, let's compare several versions of the game together to see if we can spot any glaring differences. Here we can see the Xbox 360 version. I will also show the Xbox One version and the PlayStation 4 version, alongside the Switch version for comparison. I've also updated each respective game so they're up to date with any patches that would fix any performance issues. I'll also add that the game video is deliberately grainy as part of the game's old film aesthetic, and the light and darkness gamma levels may be different between each console captured. Also, my capture device is limited to 30 frames per second regardless, but I'm personally not very sensitive to frame rates, so if there's any difference I didn't notice it myself on any of the games except the Xbox 360 version, which did noticeably seem to stagger. Other than that, I really didn't notice much difference in any of the games despite the difference in hardware. However, once again the exception being the Xbox 360 version, which had less lighting effects and was noticeably much darker. I also always see screen tearing on Xbox 360 games when I capture them as well, for whatever reason. Anyway, all of the games were perfectly playable to me. The only other thing I will add is that all of the games needed to install before playing except for the Switch version, which you can start instantly. Additionally, the Xbox 360 also had the longest loading times. When it comes to the new Switch version, what I find most impressive about it is that it's actually rendered in a lower resolution and has new anti-aliasing technology applied to smooth out the rough edges. What that equates to is a comparable image quality to a higher resolution, even though there are less pixels which would otherwise appear more blocky, especially around edges. The overall look is incredibly impressive, especially considering the Switch version of the game can also be played in handheld mode. Though there are some other minor adjustments to the Switch version, such as the alteration of things like shadow effects, to make the display possible on the Switch hardware. When it comes to controls, the Switch version is missing the option to detect your own noise and movement via camera to use in-game. But it does feature motion control aiming using gyroscopic control, which I didn't use. Coming back around to features, as I alluded to, all DLC is present on the Switch release with no additional download required. This includes Crew Expendable, which is set during the events of the original Alien film, Last Survivor, which takes an alternate spin to the story of the original Alien film, and it also includes a bunch of Survivor game modes included as well. Overall, I'm very happy to get a complete physical version of this game from Limited Run Games. The game is great, with a look in keeping to the source material, right down to things like the now retro future technology with cassettes and tube monitors displayed plentifully in-game, and spaceship designs mirroring models used for filming of the original content. The environment is very confined, and the tunnel vision first-person viewpoint also lends to the feel of the game, with a sense that danger could skulk behind obstacles or just out of vision and strike at any time. It's a tense and powerfully suspenseful game that finally has a physically complete version, making this an excellent and complete experience for any fans of the Alien franchise. And there you have it. This was my unboxing of Alien Isolation on the Switch from Limited Run Games. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like or a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. And if you'd like to, you can also support me through Patreon or YouTube channel membership. Thank you for watching. I've been MVL, and I will catch you next time.